Hey there, beautiful teachers. I am so excited to tell you about our preposterous piano teaching pack. And I've called it that because it really is ridiculous how much stuff is in this pack. Now, the first thing that's in it is a 1-year subscription to Vibrant Music Teaching. So you get 1 year of VMT totally free. If you're not a member, we'll create an account for you. If you're already a member, you will get that just added to your account so you don't have to pay us for the next year. Alongside that, there's this preposterous pack of goodies. So let me go through each of those for you. The first thing, probably the biggest thing, is this guy. This is the Flip Essential speaker from JBL. It's one of the best reviewed Bluetooth speakers, and I love using Bluetooth speakers in my teaching. So you can connect it to your phone really easily, and it means if you travel to students' homes or if you just move around the room and stuff like that, you can easily move it around, and you can use it to play backing tracks for your students, play YouTube videos or anything like that where you want them to hear good quality music at a good quality audio. Because when we just play it out of our phone or out of even a laptop speaker, it doesn't do justice to what we're trying to get across. So that is the first item, the JBL speaker. Then we have one of these guys. This is the type of metronome I have in my studio. Now, I do use a metronome app a lot, but I like to also have a metronome, a regular mechanical one, on the shelves, because you can see, first of all, if you see there, it has the markings for the different tempi on the stick, and you're moving it up and down. Students are often fascinated by the look of it and the ticking, and it's a simple thing to have on hand and often gets students a little bit more interested in using a metronome. You might expect younger students to prefer an app, but really apps are run of the mill to them, and a mechanical object like this can be a lot of fun to include in your lessons. Okay, where will we go next? Let's do this guy. This is a lollipop drum, and this is one of my latest additions to my studio, and I love it. I really like the tone this has. It's not jarring at all, even if your students whack it. And I was introduced to this by Christina Whitlock, and one of her favorite things about it is you as a teacher can hold on to it, and the student does the drumming, and then you take it away whenever you want, so they don't just go mad drumming to their heart's content, unless you want them to. Next, I'm going to go through the books. We have a lot of books in this pack, and they're all my go-to books in my studio. They're ones I use again and again and again. So that's why I want you to get your hands on them. So first off, we have Pronto Pizzazz. This is great for beginners. It has teacher duets with a student part at the beginner level. It goes through, so it goes from really simple in the beginning up to a almost late beginner towards the end of the book. Then we have some of our Spotlight Solos books. So Spotlight Solos 1, 2, and Plus, which goes between those two roughly in order in the type of level. These are some of my favorite pop style pieces. And we have Dog Days for all your dog loving students. These are beautiful pieces, early intermediate level pieces based around Jennifer Eklund's dogs. Also, Jennifer Eklund book, we have New Horizons. If your students want to play lyrical sounding pieces, film sounding pieces, the likes of those new age type feel, students who really like those expressive feelings, that's a great book. I love that one. Then we have a couple of books from Brockchart, 5-Finger Pop level 1, and I've given you 5-Finger Rock level 2, just to give you a different flavor in each level. These are just amazing, absolutely incredible pieces. Just students absolutely love those. Then we have Safari. This is from June Armstrong. This is a beginner level book and really can be used with very beginners if you teach the pieces by rote, and it's just gorgeous. It follows a day on safari, so your student goes from the dawn, it's called African Dawn, the first piece, all the way through visiting different animals and different landscapes, and then arrives at the night sky with stars, I think the last piece is called. We've actually done this in my studio in a recital with students playing pieces to take us across the day. So It's like a movement-based work then, with different students playing different pieces. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we have some of the pre-time to big time series, although I haven't included pre-time level because I don't particularly like those books. But we have Showtime Disney, Core Time Popular, Fun Time Hits, Big Time Jazz, and this one should have been at the start, Playtime Rock and Roll. Okay, so I've given you different flavors for each of the levels, and they're just great to have as supplemental books in your studio. You're going to love them if you haven't met those before. They're very popular anyway, so you might have. And then we have 3 Piano Safari packs. So these are worth quite a lot because Piano Safari is not the cheapest method, and these are the packs that include the sight reading cards. So we've got level 1 with the sight reading cards there, level 2, level 3. That's my favorite method. I'm not someone who's tied to one particular piano method, but if I had to pick one, it would be Piano Safari. So if you haven't met it before, or if you already use it and you just could use more of the materials in your studio, that's a great part of the prize. Then we have different types of books. So we have my 4 books, which are like for you to read. So we've got Piano Practice Physician's Handbook. That's my first book with solutions for different practice scenarios. We've got Rhythm in 5, which just gives you really simple, awesome rhythm games that you can do with any student at any level in 5 minutes or less. We've got Playful Preschool Piano Teaching, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It's all about teaching preschool piano. And then this one, Practice Pi, this is directed at parents, but can be a useful read for you too. You could read it first, then pass it on to parents in your studio. Right, some more little goodies here. So we have these scarves. We haven't taken these out of the packaging, but they're colourful scarves. These are great for movement, moving to the music. You may have used them if you've taught like group music programs, but they're great in private lessons too. We've got a few sheets of these stickers. These are all punny little stickers. So like one of them says, "Flipping fantastic," and it's a pancake. Just my style of sticker. We've got 3 of these guys. Sorry, 4 of these guys. These are little dry erase boards. So they're like plastic boards. You could use the back of them as well, which is plain. But the main point is the front, which already has staff lines on it. Next, we have some of my favorite stationery for piano teachers. So we have these little post-it flags. I use these to mark students' pieces, the ones that they're doing. And I also use it to mark sections within pieces. So I put them at the start and end of a section to mark the beginning and end. We have little post-it. These are the little square ones, and these are about the size of a bar or measure of music in beginner pieces where the notation is quite big. So they're perfect for like blocking things. If you want to block certain parts of the piece so that you force them to work on the tricky part of the piece, for example, or just to put little reminders at the tops of pieces as well. Then we have everybody's favorite, friction markers. Now these are markers, so they're really colourful. They're great for marking stuff on students' music that you can then erase later, like magic. Then I've given you a set of these. These are our birthday cards with like composer kind of punny jokes on the front. Just fun to have for special student birthdays, things like that. Then you've got a whole box of these little erasers. So they're little mini ones. And they're, all sorts of things. Watermelon slices and cupcakes and little animals. Lots of cute things in there. These are great for using for games. So you can use them as game tokens. But also since they're so little, they can go on the piano keys to like lay out chords, lay out scales, work on different things directly on the piano. Then we have one of my favorite things. This is a foam die. Why do I love it? Well, anytime you have an occasion to use dice, like in a game or just like choosing a random section to play in a piece or anything like that where you can include a die. If you have a student who needs to move often, use this instead of a regular one because they can throw it across the room and then they need to go get it. So it just gets the wiggles out so easily. Next we have some Beanie Babies. I love Beanie Babies. They're from my childhood, so they have a special place for me, but they're also just great for using with students. So we have this really cute guy here. We have a flamingo, of course. And then we have the full-size version of the lobster. Some of you may know this as Steve. I have the mini one, and his name is Steve, but this is the full-size lobster, which is really fun. And finally, had to leave it to the end. Pom-poms! Some of you may know that I use pom-poms sometimes in my concerts as like an alternative style of applause, which is very different to a formal concert. And they're also just fun to use in lessons. Get them out when you want to celebrate a student, and it just kind of jazzes them up. It makes them feel like, oh my gosh, this was an extra special thing that I did. So it's a great thing to add to your praise just for fun or for anything else you're doing. Videos, if you record videos for your students, just throw in a pom-pom at the end. Why not? And I had to include a full little rainbow for you of the pom-pom. So when you look at that incredible list of prizes, including the VMT membership that I mentioned at the top, that's a year's membership to Vibrant Music Teaching, which includes all of our games, all of our amazing courses, the community, everything else that members get and absolutely love. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I'm not selling it to you. I'm giving this away. So make sure you enter so you're in with a shout of winning. And once you do enter, make sure you share it because you get extra entries for sharing it on Facebook, Instagram, various different things. But you get extra entries if you share it with a friend using your special link and they enter. That gets you bonus entries. And if you share it with a friend and they win, you're not cutting off your chances because actually you will still get a prize if they win. So you're doubling your chances and tripling them in all sorts of ways if you do that. So best of luck to you, whoever the winner may be. They're going to have a lot of fun with all of these goodies. And yeah, just get to it.